Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy WhipWhyWin back at you with another market watch. Okay, let's get straight into this. So we've got Burst of Destiny here. The pre-order prices are starting to settle down. Destroy Phoenix Enforcer is still very high. Ecclesia could settle around there. Sword Yi, I think it could maybe still drop another $10. Sword Grandmaster Xiao, still a bit expensive. This card is currently, there's a listing for $20 lightly played, so that's definitely falling more like I expected it to. Lord of the Heavenly Prison, this card's also falling. It's a good card, but kind of like Synchro Attack, which we'll talk about later in the video. It just doesn't have a good deck that can really play it. Flanders and M-Pen, $28, alright price tag. Small World could settle around that, except same thing with Lord of the Heavenly Prison, just doesn't have a great deck to play it in. Although this is a bit better as a generic option. Flanders and the Magnificent Map, a lot of decks don't even play this, so I don't know why it's... Has anyone bought it for this price? Yeah, I wouldn't recommend buying it for $25. What happened there? Sorry. Okay. That's an alright price for that. Ultra, maybe a bit overpriced. Yeah, this is all just settling down now. I think the super rares are actually not $6 anymore. $2.50, yeah, that's more reasonable. And especially this set is going to be reprinted pretty soon, in less than a year. So, most of these cards, Denier, that's one that I do believe that if a lot of people need, then this card could definitely be one of the more expensive supers. Okay. Onto Brigade. This card's like a very cheap core now. You got your Airborne Assault being the most expensive card, and you've got Shirag. Brigade kit will be a penny stonk once it gets reprinted in the tins next year. Fractal, both copies are really cheap. I believe they could actually go up. So if you want to get your max rarity Brigade cord, now's definitely the time, because it is very cheap. I do believe that this will, if it doesn't get hit on the ban list, it will start going up after like the 2021 mega tins aren't being sold in stores anymore. But until then, it will still keep this expensive price. Well, not expensive. It will still keep this cheap price. Okay, onto Phantom Knights. These haven't changed too much. Coming up to Burst of Destiny, I don't think that they're going to actually make that much of an impact in the TCG. We still have Breaksword and Silent Boots, really expensive here, but nothing's really changed. So I do believe once Burst of Destiny actually drops, after like the first big tournament and no Phantom Knights do well, this archetype will fall down in price. Okay, Infinite Impermanence is very cheap now. So you've got the Super Rare and Maximum Gold for $10 each, and then you got your Ultras for $15. The only one that's really maintained its price tag properly is the Secret Rare, just because unless you're going for the ulti, it's the max rarity. But yeah, all these Infinite Impermanences are very cheap now. Okay, for Synchro Overtake, this is going up in price. It was, I think, as you all know, about $6 card a week or so ago, and now it's, I think this is just because this is only what ships to Australia. But $10, yeah, it's been selling for $10, $13. Maybe that's a Canadian buyer, but yeah, Synchro Attack is going up in price. It is a great card, as I said before. It just doesn't have a great deck to use it, so not surprised to see it go up. And finally, we've got Imperial Order. So people actually have been buying out Pharaoh's Servant because they want their max rarities, and this is obviously more expensive. And Pharaoh's Servant is a bit more like OG. So this card's actually gone from a $7 card to maybe a $10, $11 card over the past couple of weeks, and it is very hard to find. I can't actually find any near mints here. But getting a near mint copies of these Pharaoh Servants cards are very hard. Okay, now for the discussion. So maximum gold has just been not maximum gold. Ghost from the Past 2022 has just been announced. It's an alright set, just with all the improvements, just because now I've got an extra pack plus more ghost rares in the box, and it's easier to pull. But just be aware that the more ghost rares will make it harder to pull a specific one. So that's not great, although it should be a good improvement to this year's Ghost from the Past. I do believe that maybe if they did reprint, so we had some like OCG imports in this year's one, so maybe if they did something, so OCG imports that are more like nostalgic and the collectors will want, plus you've also got some reprints in it, like they had Evenly Matched and Emergency Teleport. You could even maybe put Ash hasn't been reprinted in a long time, you could maybe even throw that into this, and that would definitely boost this set's value. So overall, I do believe this set does have potential, although if they kind of do what they do, remember that content is subject to change, so this can always change. But if they do what they did this year, then this is just going to be a complete failure. Anyway guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.